Okay, so now let's create our client. I'll use Angular for this one, but you can do this in any front-end framework or without any front-end framework. So let's first generate our project, but uh, no, let me do okay. So let's do ng new client. Okay, I'll do routing SCSS. So here we go. Now let's start by installing all we need for Tailwind. Okay, so install this. I'll put some info in the description about how to install Tailwind and other things like that. Okay, perfect. Now let's do npx Tailwind init. Okay, so now we have a Tailwind config here. Okay, and let's now create a webpack config. Okay, so let's do new file and we'll say webpack.config.js. Okay, so we'll paste this here. Okay, and now let's go into angular.json and let's see here we'll replace this with this, and here also with this one. Okay, perfect, and that should be it. Let's do ng serve. Okay, and see if everything starts okay, and we can even go ahead and test it. Okay, so but first let's see. Okay, so what I forgot to do is in angular.json here in the options we have to put this custom webpack config. Okay, and we have to do the same for the serve build. Okay, put this here and let's cross our fingers and do ng serve one more time. Now it should run. Okay. Okay, so after a bit of research I found out that you can't have the hashtag character in the project path actually. So it was my fault. It was a folder naming thing. Okay, so the steps that we went through are okay. So now let's actually go ahead and maybe go to localhost. Okay, that's our Angular app. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test if our Tailwind is working. Okay, so let's first generate how do we want to do this? So let's generate a component in a folder called pages, and let's do this posts. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so let's get this and paste it here, and okay, perfect. So now let's start building our service that will interact with the blockchain. Okay, so for that we'll generate a service in a folder called services, and let's call this Web3. Okay, Web3 is the library that will talk to the blockchain, and for that we also have to install it. Okay, so run npm install Web3. Okay, so let's give it some time to install. So now let's go ahead and build our Web3 service. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Okay, so we need our our Web3. This will be like a private local variable thing. Okay, so we can even say private here. Okay, so we'll do an async function init Web3. Okay, so here we'll do some checks and basically initialize the Web3. Okay, so after that we make a getter, okay, Web3, that will return a promise. So if the Web3, okay, that we define here is set, we just return it. Otherwise we initialize and return it. Okay, so we can also make a function that will return our account, okay, also as a promise. So this will be our account. Okay, so I think, okay, mouse just got disconnected. Nice. Okay, perfect. So I think this will be enough for now. We can now go ahead and actually try to use this. Okay, so now we have to make just a small change in our truffle project. Inside our truffle config, we have to paste this one line here, contract build directory. Okay, and we set the path to inside our client application, inside our Angular application. Okay, client source app abs. Okay, so I mean, you can call this whatever you want. Okay, why is that? We want, instead of building it here, okay, you see build contracts, we want to build it inside our Angular application, so we can use this social.json inside our Angular application. Basically this is a JSON representation of our smart contract. Okay, so we need that in order to interact with it, call functions and so on. Okay, so now we save this, and if we are going to delete this build folder and also this build folder, okay, so if we are I have Ganache running, and the if I go ahead and say truffle build, it should build inside here. Okay, I think this is automatically generated, but it's empty, as you see, and it went and built our smart contracts inside our source app abs folder. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we can go ahead and create our service that will basically be that will interact with our smart contract. Okay, so we've built that Web3 service. That's a generic service. You can use this in every project that you have, but this one, okay, this will be specific to this contract. Okay, so let's call this let's generate this service service, and we'll do services slash let's call this social. Okay, okay, so okay, here it is. So here we'll do the same as we did in the Web3. We'll make a private contract variable. Okay, and let's see, why is this, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so here we'll need to inject our Web3 service. Okay, and this one, perfect. And here we'll make a series of functions that will help us. So the first one that we have to do is network data. Okay, let's call this let's make it async get network data, and this will return a promise, but it's an async, it's obvious. Okay, so here we'll want the network ID. Okay, and how do we get this? Using our Web3 service, we'll let me see what functions did we define here. Oh, okay, so we need one more function here. It's called the network ID. Okay, and it will also return a promise. Perfect. And will be something like this. And if we have the Web3, we'll say web3.ads.net.get ID. Okay, otherwise we'll just return null. So this way we get the network ID that the contract was deployed on. Okay, so back here we say the network ID. Okay, and let's go with async wait here. Okay, just because here I wanted to use get. Okay, so we don't have to use parentheses over here, but I think it will look better with async wait, so let's stick with async wait in this service. Okay, so now we have the network ID, but we'll have to, okay, so we have this JSON here. So what we want to do is import this JSON. Okay, so we'll do import star as social from, and we'll go to here and we'll say social.json. okay, so here we are gonna use this and we'll say return, and if we got the network ID, we'll do social default networks, and here we'll pass the network ID, otherwise we just return null. Okay, so basically this will get the, let me show you, okay, the network data from here. Okay, but we didn't deploy this anyway, so it's empty right now. Okay, perfect. So the next function that we're gonna use is get ABI. Okay, we can use get for this because we'll just return social dot ABI. Okay, and that's all with this. Now we'll make a function that will return and that will get our contract. Okay, so let's call this get contract. That will also be an async function, and let's see if we have the contract already. Okay, and if we don't have it. So if we have the contract, okay, we'll just return this contract. If we don't have the contract, we have to get the contract. So let's see what we need here. We need the Web3, okay, the Web3 object. So how do we get the Web3 object? Well, we use the Web3 service and .web3, okay, and we also have to await this. So now that we have our Web3 object, we can go ahead and get our network data. So now we can go ahead and check if not Web3 will just return null. So if we can move on, we say network data, it's equal to this get network data. Okay, if not network data, then just return null. And if we have the network data, we can go ahead and set our contract. Okay, it's equal to new web3 add contract, and here we'll use the ABI. Okay, and we'll use the network data address, and we can also return this. So okay, okay, yeah, I have some problems with the ID about all this, but trust me, that property is there. So we'll just ignore the warning. Okay, so let's get over this one more time. So if we have the contract, we just return it. If we don't have, we need the Web3 object, and we get it like this. If we don't get the object, we just return null. After that, we need the network data, Okay, so we get it like this. If we don't get it, we just return null. And if we have the Web3 service and the network data, we can go ahead and create our contract object. Okay, so that's basically it. We now can go ahead and create our implement our contract functions. Okay, so for that we can go ahead and open our social contract. Okay, so as we can see here, we have two methods to implement. So that's exactly what are we going to do. So let's start with the add post method. Okay, so here we just need the content. Okay, that's a string. So inside here we need our contract. Okay, so this will be this dot get contract. Okay, and we also need our account. Okay, and that will be this Web3 service account. Okay, and now we can just return contract dot methods dot add post. Okay, that's the name inside here. Okay, and here we need to pass the content. Okay, that's our only parameter, and we can say dot send, and here we'll say from account. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay, I wanted to say contract. Perfect, and that's basically it with the add post function. Now we just need to make the tip post function tip post. Okay, and let's see here, we just have the ID. Okay, that's a number, and okay, basically we can copy those from here, and we can just return the contract dot methods dot tip post, and here we pass in the ID. We can send them from account. Okay, but now we just have to pass here also a value. Okay, an ether amount. So let's stick with the default one. Okay, let's say here value it's equal to web3 dot utils dot to weight. Okay, and we'll just go with one ether. Okay, and we need to import this. Okay, like this. So we'll also pass the value here. Okay, this will be like this, but because the key and the value are the same, we can just use value and will work. Okay, so basically we'll always tip the post with one ether. Okay, you can go ahead and ask the user how much ether would want to give, but for simplicity we'll always tip with one ether. Okay, so basically that's it for the functions. We now can go ahead and create our front-end application that will consume those two functions. Okay, so when I wanted to start the app, I had two problems. Okay, so I'll share with you so you can go ahead and fix if you have those. So the first one is that we had to add a line in ts.config tsconfig.json. Okay, the line that we had to add is resolve JSON module true. okay, we have to add this inside compiler options. Okay, why is that? We need that in order so we can import JSON objects, okay, in Angular. The second one was a problem with the Web3 package. So I had 1.2.6 installed, okay, it was the latest version, but I had an error, okay, it was missing a module, I don't know. So I downgraded to 1.2.4 and it seems everything is working fine. So how do you do that? So you just go ahead and run npm remove web3, okay, and after you remove it successfully, you go and npm install web3 add, and here you say 1.2.4, okay. So okay, it's not web 2, it's web 3, sorry. So after everything is finished, you should be able to compile the project successfully. If you have any problems with that, just let me know in the comments and I'll help you. Okay, so now I've compiled the project successfully. As you can see here, everything is working. I also opened the Tailwind documentation because we'll use that. So we'll just do everything here, or maybe we'll make a post component, but that's it, I think. You can go ahead and split in multiple components and take advantage of Angular more. So let's see, because we have a navigation component here, so let's go with this one, okay. And let's go ahead and make a component, header component, okay, just to keep the code as clean as we can, okay. So okay, and paste, okay, copy it again and paste this here, and okay, put this here, and here it is. So let's make a quick change here, okay. I don't know, social app tutorial, and get rid of everything else basically. Let's see, okay. So we have a header. Okay, so now let's do something in this header. Let's get our address, okay. So now private, let's do address string, and let's see in our services. Okay, that's the account. Let's name it account. Okay, so when it's initialized, let's inject our web3 service, okay. And let's do this dot account web3 account, and let's make this sync and this await. Perfect. And in the header component, okay, let's go back and oh, okay, we have to open this in Google Chrome, okay. We need MetaMask, So let me see. Okay, so you will have to install MetaMask. Okay, it's a Chrome extension and it allows us to communicate with blockchain. Okay, so go ahead and install MetaMask extension. So if you already have it installed, I recommend going here in the settings, advanced, and click on reset account. Okay, perfect. So now let's continue our journey. Let's in the header component, let's try and put our account here. Okay, and let's see. Okay, here it is, our account. So why is this? Okay, let's try and say justify and maybe. Okay, perfect. So this is our account. Okay, you no need for the button, or I don't know, but I just leave it like this. Okay, not a styling thing tutorial. Okay, so that's with the header. Okay, and if I go and change, you can see it's ending in E49. So if I go ahead and change, no, where is it? But I change my account, okay, and I refresh the page. Okay, another account here. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and create our okay, we can close this. Now we want to be able to add a post. Okay, so what we need for that, it's basically an input, okay, and a button. So how do we want to do this? Okay, we'll go with the very simple way of doing this. Okay, so here we'll do ng model, okay, and we'll say post content, okay, and we need to import the forms module, okay, into the app module right here, and we need to define our post content variable. It's a string. Okay, so when we click the post button, we'll call the add post method. Okay, so we'll inject our social service here. Perfect, and we'll say this dot social service dot add post, and the content is this dot post content. Okay, so let's also get the result, and let's console log this result and make this an async function. Okay, and let's check. Yeah, that is an async function. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and try and add a post. Let's see, we have an error. No, sorry, no errors. Okay, and let's put some styling into this. Let's say the container. Okay, yep, And let's add some classes to this. Let's do a height and background color, and also to this let's say background color, and okay, perfect. And let's also make the height, and let's add a padding to this. Okay, and also let's do margin auto here, okay, to center this, and let's say a margin top also, and let's go and do flex here and say justify center. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and open our console, and also we can say with full here, but I think it will yeah, let's do with like this maybe. Yeah, perfect. So let's go to console, and let's try another post, and also let's do a padding here like this. Okay, perfect. My first post, and let's click add post, and we got an error. Okay, so the problem was that inside the get contract function I forgot to add an await here. Okay, so when we get the network data we have to pass the await, okay, because we get a promise and we can't get the address unless the promise is resolved. Okay, so now we can remove this, okay, because the ID was right that there is a problem. Okay, so now if we say my first post, okay, and click add post, we confirm the transaction and the transaction was successful. Okay, perfect. So here is our event also. Perfect. So now that we added the post, it's time for us to list all the posts. So in order for us to load uh, the posts, we go ahead in the post component, and let's make an async function. Let's say load the posts. Okay, and inside here we first need the contract. Okay, so let's get the contract. Will be await this dot social service dot contract, and let's see how we name this get contract. Okay, this one. Okay, so now we have the contract. Let's check if we don't have the contract. We'll just return. Okay, but if we have the contract, let's first get our post count, and let's see how we name this. We name this post count and post list. Perfect. So how do we want to do this? Let's get the post count here. I don't think we need it outside this function. Count. Okay, so the post count will be await contract dot methods dot post count dot code. Okay, so this should get our post count. Let's go ahead and log this and also call this here. Okay, so we get 2. So now let's go ahead and get our posts. Let's do a 4. Okay, so we start from 1 and we go to post count. Okay, why is that? Because we have how to say this, we can't get all the posts. Okay, we have trouble with generate for us a getter, okay, for all public variables. Okay, so we have a getter for post count, as you've seen, and we have a getter for post list, but we have to pass in the ID, the key. Okay, so we'll say here post list. Okay, will be an empty array, and when we load posts, we push that post into our array. Okay, so let's do const post. It's equal to await contract dot methods dot post list, and here we pass in the ID dot call. Okay, and now let's try and console log this post. Okay, and as you can see, we get back the posts. And let's go ahead and okay, and now let's go ahead and do this dot post list push post. Okay, perfect. So now we have all our posts, so we can go ahead and loop through them here. So let's see if we have something here. Yeah, we have some cards. Let's see. Maybe let's see what details we have about the post, content, download, tip amount. Okay, let's maybe let's go with this one and okay, remove this. Okay, and let's also remove this image. Okay, and let's put this inside our container. Okay, perfect. So okay, let's do also, I think we can do border, and let's see. Oh, okay. Um, let's remove all of those. Maybe. And maybe this. Okay, that should do it. And now we also have to say justify content. Justify center, sorry. And okay, and also let's put a margin top, and that should be it. Okay, so we can go ahead and remove this title. Okay, and we can now go ahead and do an ng4 on this, and say post of maybe post list, and here we can go ahead and put post.content. Okay. Here we can go ahead and say post.owner, and here post.tip amount. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Everything is working as expected. So here are our two posts. Okay, and we can also say here no, it's text. Okay. How was that? Let's see. Font size. It's yeah, it's like this. Maybe like this. Oh yeah, it was already. Let's do like this. Okay. Perfect. So now we can go ahead and add a button, or maybe let's do something even simpler. Let's do on a click. Okay, when we click the box, let's tip the post. Okay, and we'll say post dot id. Maybe let's check, yeah, dot id. Okay, and let's create this tip post function, and the id it's a number, and we just get to have to call our tip post. Okay, so let's do this async, and let's also get the result, and let's do this social service dot tip post id. Perfect. So now when we click this, let's also say pointer. Okay, so it's more visual. So if we click on this, okay, we'll send one iter, So okay, and now if we refresh, okay, we see that this has one ether, okay, but it's in way. So let's do something about this, okay. When we get our post, let's let's do post dot tip amount is equal to web3 dot details dot to how do we do this? um, it's from way, yeah, it's from way, and we pass the post dot tip amount, and we want this in ether, okay, and we have to import this. Let's see if it's working now. No, let's see, why not? No, okay, I think we just have to refresh it. Perfect. So we can also go ahead and say what this one means, okay. Perfect. So now we can tip it again, and if we refresh we got 2 ether, but we don't want to refresh every time, okay. So we can actually use those events that we defined in our smart contracts right here. So in order to do this, we will need our contract, okay. So instead of using this here locally, let's put it right here, okay. And here let's say this dot contract is equal to this, and change it all over the place. Okay, I think that should be it. Let's refresh and see if it's all working. Perfect. So now let's go ahead, and here on init, after let's wait for the posts to load, and after the post loaded we can do this dot contract dot events dot let's see how we name that. We named it post. Let's do for post tipped first, okay, and no arguments, an error, and an event, okay, and we let's see what we want to do here. I think we want to load the posts again, okay. So first let's do something like this. I think this will work. And yeah, I think if we load the posts, it should do it. Let's also do this stat post list. It's equal to this. Okay. So here I think we can call this dot load posts. Okay. And let's try. Let's tip this post. Okay, so in order to make this work, I had to do two small changes. The first one is I made this in a sync so I can await the post loading, and I injected the change detector ref. Okay, so I call this here this.ref.detect changes. Basically, what was the problem was that the post list array was changing, but Angular wasn't wasn't displaying those changes. So by this we tell Angular that something was changed and he need to check and repaint the changes on the page. So now let's keep a post, and as you can see from 5 went to 6 here. Let's do this here from 6 it will go to 7, but we are doing this from the same account. Okay, so if we go here, okay, on Ganache, we let's do this. Okay, so on Ganache we are using the F0 account. Okay, so the F0 account has 1000 ether. Okay, so let's switch the account. Okay, on MetaMask let's go with another account. Okay, let's refresh the page. Okay, the account ending in 49, it's this one, and let's try and pick this post. Okay, 8 ether, 9 ether. Okay, so as we can see we now have 2 more ether here and less here. Okay, so our contract is working. Let's add another post from another account. Okay, and we need to refresh the page because we didn't implemented the post added event. So yeah, basically that's it. Let me know in the comments what other changes did you made to this app and how did you made it better.